What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to be looking at the Detroit Lions schedule. This is my initial reaction. Well, not really. I already reacted to it. I was on a live stream, so that's why I'm late to this, but I did want to give you guys this. If you have not seen the Lions schedule yet, here it is. Hopefully I'm pointing the right way. I'm going to keep pointing this way, so if I'm pointing the wrong way, I apologize. This is the Lions schedule, and yeah, man, this is what we're going to be looking like for the 2020 season. You guys can just kind of analyze it real quick, and we're going to be talking about it. You know, this is going to be a tough schedule. You know, obviously every schedule is tough. I don't think there's any, for sure guaranteed wins in the NFL. I think every team's a professional team, and you can upset any team on any given week, and you can lose to any team on any given week. But we're going to really break down some points, I think. We're not going to make a prediction here. This isn't where we're making my final predictions. We may kind of run through them a little bit, but we're not going to do anything serious like that. Actually, what I'm planning to do is do a series, game by game, video by video, 16 videos or 16 teams. We'll break down every single team of that week. Well, maybe just one time for the division teams. We'll see. So maybe like 12. But we'll break down them. We'll talk about their weaknesses, their strengths, what we got to do against them, and then we'll make a prediction. I think we can do every single game on here, and that'll allow us to have a nice long series while there's really not tons going on. So let's take our initial reactions at this line schedule. First up, you can see we play at home versus Chicago, and then at Green Bay. So back-to-back divisional opponents, weeks 1 and 2. That's huge. That's something that the Lions haven't done, I believe, since 2005. I think that's the year I read it right. That's not an easy start, and it's going to be a huge start because I don't think the Packers are the best team in the North. I think the Vikings are better. I don't think the Bears are the best team in the North. But I will say I think this is where, you got to get off to a nice start. These first 4 games, if you break it down to quarters, which we are going to, the first quarter here for the Lions as well as the last quarter are the 2 most important ones in my eyes. These are where it really comes down, and not just because, they're first and last, but because of the opponents you're going to play. There's an extra wild card spot this year, which means that not only do divisional winners get in, but also 3 extra teams instead of just usually 2. So because of that, we need to make sure we take care of business in the out-of-division NFC games. We got to win our NFC games. Those are going to have playoff implications written all over them. And you see our first 4 games, all NFC teams, 2 of them North teams. This is an opportunity for either lines to get a huge huge foot up, huge leg up in the competition, and start off 2-0 in the division. Start off 2-0. At least be tied for first in the division with Minnesota right away. Or the Lions could, if they struggle out of the gate, they could be way behind. So this is where you at least need to split, but it would be nice to win both. And if you can come out, win these 2 games before everybody really gets tons of film on you for the season, this is that opportunity. We beat good teams early in the year. We've seen it. We've also lost 2 easy teams in the beginning of the year. So we don't know what we're going to get here from the Lions, but in a must-win year, this is really going to kick off. Last season was Arizona, and, we tied in and it looked so great, but that didn't affect us directly as much as these 2 games will because these are North teams. If you want to win the North and you want to compete for the North, which you have to, you got to find a way to get through these 2 games. But then after that, you got the Cardinals, and then you have the Saints. And this is going to be tough, right? These are 4 conference teams that, you at least got to come out, I'm saying at least 2 wins. You can't come out of here with 1. You got to at least get 2 of them, whether that's, both divisional wins, whatever that may be. You got to find a way to come out here with at least 2 wins because this is huge. This is playoff implications all over it. Then you get into your next quarter, and this is kind of where the Lions are going to be able to take a deep breath, breathe out, relax. They're coming off of a bye week, and the next quarter they have Jacksonville, Atlanta, the Colts, and the Vikings. Now the Vikings are going to be tough again, another NFC North team. I think at Minnesota is probably their toughest game of the year. But when you look at this, you see Jaguars, you see Falcons, and you see Colts. Those are all teams that we can beat. And none of those teams, except for 1, is in the NFC. So you got 2 teams that are in the AFC, and the Colts and the Jaguars. So, they'll have a little bit less effect if you do lose, but we should be able to beat the Jaguars. You should be able to beat the Falcons, and you should honestly be able to beat the Colts. Those are 3 teams that playoff contenders beat. At least 2 of those teams you got to beat if you're a playoff team. And then obviously Minnesota, where again, a huge opportunity. We're playing them on the road first. We're us to get a leg up in the competition. In our first 8 games, we have 3 divisional games. So it's an opportunity for us to get it rolling right away, right out of the gate, and then kind of just a little bit of relaxation after the bye, maybe pick up back-to-back wins, and then, you can start getting a little more confidence if you didn't have the greatest start to the season. But I think it's really huge that the first 4 are where it really comes down to. Let me just point this out real quick. All right. How do we got no primetime games, NFL? I've heard the Packers have 5. That is disrespectful. Just stop it, okay? Come on. 1. We need 1. Now, they may flex them, I understand, but come on, man. Aside from Thanksgiving, are you kidding me? All right, let's move on to the final 8. All right, next quarter we have the Redskins, the Panthers, the Texans, and the Bears. All right, now what's here? You got a nice little mix here. You got the Redskins, who should be a must-win. You have to beat the Redskins. You have to beat the Redskins, if you're asking me. Then you have the Carolina Panthers, again, another team that you probably should beat. The Texans are going to be tough, but they're in the AFC, which is a good thing. And then you have the Bears. So, again, another divisional opponent. I think this is kind of like, the second one. These two are kind of going to string together as like 8 games. Kind of just a jumble of different teams that are going to match up with. Only 2 divisional games within those 8. So they're kind of just a jumble of teams. And that's an opportunity for either Lions to go on a run and, kind of take control going into that final big last 4-game stretch. Or the Lions, if they struggle, they're going to have to win probably out. They're probably going to have to win their last 4 of the quarters. So getting into the last 4, Packers, Titans, Buccaneers, Vikings, probably the hardest stretch of their schedule. You're talking 4 teams that are playoff contenders, 4 teams that are potentially Super Bowl contenders. I mean, really, once you get to the Texans, you're talking playoff contenders. But when you get to Packers, Titans, Buccaneers, Vikings, you're potentially talking deep run playoff contenders. And this is where you see what you're made of, Why wouldn't you want to see what you're made of? I understand winning games, but, when it comes down to it, you want to know what your team's about, right? What's the point of squeezing the playoffs to lose? Now, trust me, I'd rather be in the playoffs than not. But you want to know what you're at. The last 4 games are basically playoff games before the playoff starts. I mean, this is basically a pre-playoff games, pre-playoff matchups between the Packers, the Titans, the Buccaneers, the Vikings. And if the Lions want to be recognized as a playoff team, if Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia want to save their jobs, if they want to do something that, Jim Caldwell got hate for, winning big games, this is an opportunity for the Lions to get a win over Green Bay, which they haven't done tons late in the season, an opportunity to beat the Titans, who were just one of the best teams in the NFL, an opportunity to play against Tom Brady, the Buccaneers, and his new scenery, and an opportunity to play against the Vikings, who I think are the best team in the North, aside from the Detroit Lions. That's a huge stretch. For me, it's all about the first 4 and the final 4, because I feel like that's where, you're seeing your NFC North opponents. You see how many? You got 1, 2, 3. You got 4 NFC North opponents within those games. 4 NFC North games in your first 4 and your last 4 combined. It's going to be tough, but that's where I think it goes, and I think in the middle is where we can kind of get on a little bit of run, possibly carry some momentum after that Redskins game into that final stretch. So, I wish we had some primetime games. I think, I could definitely see the Tampa Bay game get flexed, which would be awesome, either on a Saturday or a Sunday, depending. That would be an awesome game to get flexed if the Lions are in competition for a playoff spot. With an extra playoff berth, again, these NFC games are going to mean even more. Before they meant a lot because, it's really hard to get into a wild card game. Once again, those are the games you're going to win. And the good thing that I see about this is that the AFC teams, like the Texans, are a really good team. But if they lose, they're an AFC team. That's kind of the good thing. But overall, I think it's the first 4 and the final 4. We need to find a way to take care of business. Those are my initial reactions. We will do breakdowns on every single team. If you want to see it, let me know in the comments below. Sorry, I'm going to get this one out really quickly, guys, because it is late. Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm